Oh, it is People Station V103, and I have to do this. Get on up! I'm sorry.
Get up, bye.
And in the studio, joining us, Dr. Yamma Brown, the daughter of James Brown. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It couldn't be a better day than to have a biopic.
Yes.
Screening tonight. At least the movie comes out next week, though.
Yes, it comes out August 1st.
Of James Brown.
Yes, of my dad. And we're so excited. We just had the Augusta premiere last night, so we're getting ready for Atlanta. We had New York. That was pretty amazing. Jill Scott plays my mom in the film. So she got to meet my mom for the first time in New York, and that was just such an
How
amazing...
like your mother is Jill Scott?
Probably not really like her, but in the film, she does a great job because my nephew was on set. He was one of the PAs on production of the film, and because he went to SCAD, so he was on production for his grandfather.
Production.
Yes, very much so. Even Chad talks about how he was under so much pressure because family was on set. But she got a lot of information from my nephew, and they kind of talked through them. And Tate and Chad, they actually came down to Augusta in South Carolina.
Okay, how many children are there?
Okay, there's 10 of us all together.
Okay.
And my mom was the second wife. So my sister Deanna and I are from that marriage. But I've got, I'm not going to name them all.
Okay.
Because if I forget somebody, I'm going to get in trouble.
You're going to get in trouble. And this is on video, and they can share it on Facebook,
no,
Twitter,
we're not gonna
and
do
Instagram.
That. But I love them all.
No, let me ask you a question, because there's so much about biopics and the families disapproving. Just the other day, there were reports that Cissy Houston was mad at Lifetime.
Yes.
And then there was also the Aaliyah fiasco where Zendaya, who is very talented, actually reminds me a lot of Aaliyah.
I know.
Where she actually pulled out of the production, and then there was question on whether there was going to be one at all. And we'll just, I guess, see what happens. But what do you think that, how involved was your family in this?
Yeah, my sister and I and my mother were consultants on the film.
Okay.
So the family, I won't say it was the entire family, because obviously there's more than just us. But because my mom had such a pivotal part in his life, she was married to him during the highlight of his career.
Wow.
They really wanted to hone in on their relationship. So we were asked to be consultants. And my sister and I, just to kind of give that, fatherly, kind of humanly, other than entertainer, feel to it. So we were involved from the get-go. Tate was very open. Brian Grazier, Chadwick was just so, he wanted to get the essence of Dad.
Did he do a great job of portraying your father?
He did an amazing job.
Really?
So much so to my mom was like, I could look in his eyes and I feel like I was looking at your dad. She was like, he really embodied him. So we are very, very happy with the film, and there's no family feud.
Tell me some things that people would not know about James Brown. I mean, he pretty much is, I don't know, not just the godfather of soul, but hip hop too, because I don't think the 90s would have been as great for hip hop if they weren't sampling some James Brown.
Right.
And that's the truth.
Right. Well, you know what? One thing about Dad is that he was extremely humble in everything, even with him being sampled and, feeling like he changed so many things. He was just always humble that, that entire birth of hip hop would be, up under him. And just the way different artists like Prince and Michael just related to him, and Usher. Usher is like a family friend for us, because him and Dad were so close. So my dad was extremely humble, and he just was the type of person that would never let anybody tell him no. He was triumphant over it all, so he was going to keep on getting up and going on.
How much of that life lesson have you brought into your own life? Because I could learn that. And that's what I look forward to doing with this biopic.
Yes. You know what? So much, because I have my book coming out. It's called Cold Sweat. It comes out September 1st. And I'm talking about growing up with my dad and how amazing it was, but also talking about some of the dark things that I learned. And you'll see that in the film, but it shows the total man and what he was. And, I'm just feeling better because of him.
So many people were afraid to be themselves and show the dark side of their families. I know my family's from the South, and there are so many things that we never dealt with.
Right.
And so it would not surprise me to find the essence of those dark places, because almost every African American family has been discouraged from talking about those things.
Absolutely. And you know what? Tate does a very good job of pulling that out, because he goes into when he was a young child, and some of the things and the challenges he had from being really poor to not having his mom there, and how that shaped a lot of the things that happened later on in life with domestic violence with him and my mom, and later on with me being in a domestic violent situation in my own marriage.
That's
so
what I'm.
it
That's
just
exactly
the
where I'm
generational
going.
curses just kept on going. But I just recently teamed up with a company called BreakTheCycle.org.
I was gonna say you gotta break it.
Yes, it's called BreakTheCycle.org, and their whole thing is about teen violence, teen dating, stopping it early, so it's not a perpetual habit, and that's what I'm focused on. I mean, I have a 15-year-old daughter and a 12-year-old son, and I want them to know what healthy relationships are about. And that's what the name of the game is. That's what I got to do. And in the name of my father, I'll continue on his legacy because it's great, but I'll also tell a little bit more so people can understand, it's not always roses and, just nice and everything. It's just not always like that.
Everybody has their thing to deal with to become, an evolution of themselves, the better part of themselves. And so sometimes we all have to learn those lessons, whether you're James Brown, or not. And let me ask you before we go.
Okay.
Can you dance like James Brown? Every kid, is like doing something, that you have to have some kind of skill. I know you're a doctor, Yamma Brown, I know, PhD and all.
You know what?
Can you get down?
I actually went in the studio with my dad back when I was in pharmacy school. He had me remake I Got the Feeling. I went in the studio with him, and it racked my nerves so bad that I said, no more.
No more?
The level of expectation was set too high that I was like, there's no way I can compete with this legacy. But he did teach us a lot of his dance moves. We danced around the house all the time. Oh. But I have a sister, Venetia, that does it so much better than anybody in my family.
Really?
So,
She got the gift.
Yeah, she got the gift of dancing.
It's all right. We need a doctor in the family.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dr. Yamma Brown. I can't wait. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
I'm so happy that this was able to come out with the help of the family.
Yes, thank you so much for having us here. And we want Atlanta to get on up and get to that premiere and see it on August the 1st.
August the 1st it comes out. You got to check out the story of James Brown, Godfather of Soul. Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.